Ow! Jesus! No wonder I don't have any hair left. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mariana and you're watching Lucifer's Library. Happy holiday season. I think I'm coming down with a cold. It is December 23rd. I need to finish reading this book. I started it, I think, December 6th. Still haven't finished it. It's a lot more depressing than I realized. I don't know what it is about this book, but I just can't seem to get through it. It's a really slow read for me this time around. I need to pick up this one. These are the two books that I want to read before the year is over. I document all the books that I have read in this year in my 2021 bullet journal, and I have 129 books read in total. However, 2 of them are not on Goodreads because they're not released yet. So on Goodreads it says 127, and I really want to reach 130 on Goodreads just so that I can say I read 130 books and you can clearly see it on Goodreads. Yesterday I just finished my book haul, right? I came home, I put on an unhaul video. One of the books that I bought was in an unhaul. I put on a DNF video. One of the books that I bought was in a DNF video. I'm cursed. But you know what? They're not gonna change my opinion. I'm gonna still try them. I think I picked up Clockwork Prince at a wrong time. I can't seem to love it. I don't seem to be able to read this book for longer than a few pages before getting distracted. I am DNFing this reread. I know that I said that I wanted to reread it, but this year has been so consistently bad for reading for me because I've been going through different moods, and I think I'm gonna maybe leave it for some other time to reread when I'm feeling a little bit more stable. And if you're new to my channel, I would just say this is a regular thing for me. I often put down books for later, even if they're rereads, and I DNF a lot of books as well. It doesn't say anything about the books, it says more about me and my reading tastes. Also, some books that I don't like right now I might enjoy later, or you know, 8 years ago. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna leave it for later, maybe not, but either way, it's it's 2 books off my winter TBR. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start Catching Fire, my favorite book in the series, and I might just continue with Mockingjay. So that's gonna be the second book. I hope I can read at least half of the book today. Update: 130 pages into this book. This time reading it, I don't really like Gale because he doesn't understand her the way Peeta does. I was never Team Peeta, Team Gale, although I preferred Peeta. I really like the friendship between Katniss and Peeta, and I really enjoy that aspect in the movie as well. I think that their friendship is one of the strongest things about the Hunger Games, but also I don't know how to properly explain it, but I feel like this is a solid read. Everything is so well thought out. This series is also a very good commentary on war and on the trauma and different classes and how they deal with their privileges. For example, Capital. They have so much wealth, whereas other districts starve to death. And there are so many people who don't get the food that Capital just seems to hoard. And I love the commentary between Katniss and Peeta when they find out that people in the Capital consume something just so that they can throw it up and then continue binging on. All of that food that they ended up vomiting could have gone, you know, before it was eaten, could have gone to the people who were actually starving and needed it. It's so wasteful, and I love that aspect of it. I love the Hunger Games just in general, portraying real life, our world issues through the lens of dystopia. Also, wait, another thing, Catching Fire has the best arena. I love it. But not just that, I don't know what it is about Catching Fire, the movie, the aesthetics or the way it makes me feel, or maybe it's the nostalgia, but God, I absolutely love the actors, the dresses, the costuming, the sets, the, you know, chemistry between actors, and I absolutely adore how familiar it all is, because this is what I grew up on. page 362. Gale is insufferable in this book. Katniss had to survive the arena, and then she came back home traumatized, clear PTSD symptoms, and Gale is just here. I feel like he doesn't take anything seriously. It's one thing to watch someone you love die on TV and be in the arena than to actually experience it. And I think Gale in a lot of ways is so naive to what the Capitol can actually do. Meanwhile, in this book, Katniss is being threatened by President Snow to stay in line, otherwise everyone she loves is gonna die. And she has all of this on her shoulders. This is like this giant burden, and Gale is just here messing with peacekeepers, and you know, he doesn't care. And I feel like all he cares about is Katniss being with Peeta and not wanting them to be together because he wants her for himself. And then I feel like he's also judging Katniss for not wanting to fight. But like I said, she just survived this incredibly traumatic experience and came home, and of course she's afraid. She has been on this tour of the district and she saw firsthand what the uprisings did to the people, how many people have died. And I feel like Gale, he just thinks it's gonna be cool to fight against the Capitol, but he doesn't actually think of the human consequences and how many people are gonna die and whether District 12 is ready to fight. So he's just insufferable in this book, and I feel like he dismisses a lot of her emotions. I sympathize with Katniss, and I also sympathize with Peeta. I love their friendship together because it just feels like Peeta really genuinely cares about Katniss and her feelings, and he doesn't pressure her into something that she doesn't want to do, but he gives her space to figure herself out. But he's also there to listen and to talk, and doesn't just focus on his own emotions like Gale does. And I feel that a lot of people wanted Katniss to be with Gale just because Liam Hemsworth is hot, and that's it. There's no redeeming quality, especially what happens in Mockingjay. Gale is just the worst character in this book. And another thing is, because I'm so attached to these books and I know these characters, and especially Finnick and Cinna, it's so hard to read. You just want to cry. You feel like these are your friends and these are the people that you know. I think I'm definitely gonna rate it 5 stars. Hey everyone, I just finished Catching Fire, and the ending, I completely forgot about the last sentence. Katniss, there is no District 12. So dramatic. I'm scared to read Mockingjay now, but I'm gonna continue. I love you. Nobody. Why am I crying? 1 book down, 2 to go before the year is over. And I'm not feeling in a reading mood. Pretty little birdie. Who's the cutest birdie? Can you just like look into the camera and be smart for once? Hi. Oh yes, you're so pretty. Okay. I'm a mess. I'm already crying and the movie hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, married people get it. You give them an opportunity.
He's almost excited.
He's already talking to minds. People want to fight.
We have to go here before they kill us. They will kill us.
Oh my goodness. And because they have nothing to lose.
Right with my sister.
Miss Aberdeen. Miss Aberdeen.
Like a mockingjay.
All right. We're going to find out what we do about this. What's
We're a team, aren't we? And I'm so proud of my victors. So proud. Well, you both deserved so much better.
Just hearing the Catching Fire soundtrack puts me in tears. Catching Fire is my favorite soundtrack and it has such beautiful songs, and I'm just... Hi everybody, so I am joining Pris and Sasha for Boxing Day reading sprints, and I'm going to be finishing this book today. I'm at the point where they bomb the hospital and Katniss is gonna have her famous speech, "If we burn, you burn with us," and I'm already crying. I've cried my eyes out already this book. Gosh, I just appreciate this series, this trilogy so much. I can't even begin to tell you. Out of every single book that I've read so far, or even reread, I think this reread of The Hunger Games just surprised me even more because I didn't realize how much I love these books. I am blown away by this trilogy again and again and again. Every time I pick it up, every time I read it, it's phenomenal. I would recommend it to every single person. Katniss is a perfect example of this like human aspect. She's not elevated to this higher standard, to this higher level where the war just seems to be brushed over, but she is in it. She is fighting. Page 428. I have about, I don't know, 20-30 pages to go. After one of the very important characters in this book dies, and we know that Gale kind of had a hand in it, just listen to this. So Katniss says, "You didn't come see me in the hospital." He doesn't answer, so I finally just say it. "Was it your bomb?" And then listen to Gale's response. "I don't know. Neither does Beady," he says. "Does it matter? You'll always be thinking about it. Not even 'I'm sorry' or 'I'm sorry about your loss.' Just blaming her." Gale is so fucking infuriating, so self-righteous in wanting this war, wanting to fight, wanting to be a soldier, killing people, bringing Panem and President Snow and everybody else to justice. He's so blinded by his rage that he doesn't care what consequences this might have, and he doesn't even care how this affected Katniss, because she is completely broken in this book. The girl has so much trauma, and Peeta as well, but Gale has the guts to just say, "You'll just be thinking about it." I mean, come on, like, she has a right to blame you when this is what you have created, this is what you have wanted, this is what your President Coin has done to her. This was orchestrated, and you don't even have the guts to say, "I'm sorry for whatever part I played in it. I don't know how, to what extent, but I'm still sorry that this happened." I mean, you two were family, and this is the best you can come up with? God, I hate Gale in this book. I absolutely hate him. And then, not to mention, Katniss just lost her best friend, and I'm not talking about Gale, I'm talking about Finnick. Finnick would never have done this to her. And they barely knew each other. She has lost and lost and lost again, and she was the one who I think had to endure the most, because she was at the center of it. And not only did she have the pressure to be the Mockingjay and be the face of the rebellion and do that well, and while she has severe PTSD symptoms, she had to be an example to the audience, the people who were watching, to the entire country. She had all of that on her shoulders while also trying to survive and then go through what happened with Peeta. And then, you know, Finnick and her sister, and Gale being an asshole, and then not being able to trust Haymitch after he lied to her and was working with the rebels. And I just want to give her a hug, because everybody's such an asshole in this book and she deserves better. I love that the last line in this book is, "But there are much worse games to play." Because the Hunger Games. Mockingjay is so sad. The last time I read this book, I rated it 4 stars, but I'm gonna raise it to 5 stars. I would consider myself in a big reading slump this month. Yeah, I still read The Hunger Games like that, so what does that say about these books? They're awesome. Look, I know, every time I check in, it's like I live in this spot. I'm always talking to you from my desk. So maybe we should just move and switch things up a little bit. Is that better? I'm not entirely sure. Yesterday I did manage to read my third book, and that is She Came to Slay, The Life and Time of Harriet Tubman. And because I'm not American, I have heard of Harriet Tubman before, but I wasn't aware of what exactly she did. I heard of Underground Railroad, but I didn't know that much about it. So it was a very nice read to kind of educate myself and learn more. And I thought that was a very inspiring read. I can't even begin to describe how much courage that must take when the government, when everybody, the system that you live in is designed to keep you prisoner, to keep you a slave. And you know, it must take a lot of courage to fight against it, to keep going back and risk your life for people. And Harriet Tubman, she really literally risked everything over and over. Even when she was sick, she tried her best to do everything that she can. Even when she didn't have a lot, she still gave everything to her people. And I think that is so inspiring, empowering, so just fearless. She was a force to be reckoned with, and I respect her a lot. She has done so much in her life, like so much. And here I am 23 years old, wondering what am I ever gonna achieve with my life. When Harriet Tubman, you have people like Harriet Tubman who just did so much. I don't know, I feel like I'm wasting time and space on this earth. And then I picked up You've Reached Sam, and this is what I'm reading right now. I can already tell it's gonna make me emotional. I am also going to try and write the essay, or at least the outline, and submit that to my school. I am trying my best to avoid it, and it's stressing me out a little bit. Just because I'm so worried that I'm gonna do something wrong. And I've already been struggling with this class, public speaking. It's logical, but at the same time, it's so logical that there are a lot of trick questions. Like, you think the way a question is presented that there is only one logical answer, but the answers are so similar that anything could be it. So it's so easy to get confused and mixed up. And we're so close to 200 subscribers. Gosh. It's like we hit 100 last week. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's just the realization hit. I did decorate my front page. Friendly reminder that my sister and I are doing weekly giveaways, and they are hosted on Instagram. And this week I'm actually sending off the Percy Jackson series. Okay, so I have a couple of topics to choose from when writing this speech. I'm gonna choose the one I feel like is the broadest. I'm gonna choose what I see as the biggest challenges young adults face today, because this is something that I feel very passionate about, because the housing market is a mess. There is a lack of jobs and higher competition in educated adults, whereas before, if you were educated, it was so much easier to get a job. And the cost of living is higher, but the wages are the same. Okay, my room is an absolute mess. My desk is a mess. Everything's a mess. And I think I'm gonna change my room up a little bit just to refresh it for 2022. Na?
Kuchačka.
Jabo.
Ajde.
Pridem k malu. Čez koliko sati da?
Daj mu začeti kuhati.
Koliko sati bo trajalo, da ga narediš?
Pristavite se pa malo. A čez 15 minut pri.
Ok. Zmenjeno.
Kaj ti hodiš preko?
Pogovarjam se sama s sabo. My dad invited me to, I don't know how you say it in English, what you call it. But you know when you heat up wine? Basically that. Okay, it's really dark outside, but this is so deceptive. Winter is so deceptive. It's 5:30. I already thought it's 8 p.m. What the frick? I can do a lot of things today. I ended up putting down You've Reached Sam. I did get to 17 or 20% of the book, but I can just feel it getting me into a reading slump because it's a really sad book and I don't want to be sad. It's the end of the year. I want to leave it emotionally high and happy, and even like Mockingjay destroyed me already, so I've had enough of sad books. In 2022, my main goal is to get through the books that I have, and that means just picking them up and trying them out. And if I have a feeling that a certain book isn't right for me at this time, I'm gonna put it down and leave it at a later date. However, if I just have a feeling that this isn't something that I want, I'm just going to completely be very strict and be very free with DNFing. I'm not gonna feel bad about not reading books or picking so many books up and, you know, DNFing or switching out to other books, because that's what I've been doing this year. Even though I've been freely DNFing, I've been feeling really guilty about it, but there's so many books. If I don't manage to finish off my entire physical TBR next year, it's fine. It is fine. Next year I'm graduating from school. Hopefully I'm gonna find a job, pass my driving exam, and I have a lot of things to do. So I don't know how my reading year is gonna go, but we'll see. I'm hoping at least booktube will be able to kind of hold me accountable and keep me going and keep me motivated. I just came back from the post office because I shipped off the Percy Jackson series to our winner. What else? I almost finished off the most terrible toothpaste I didn't buy it. It was given to me by my brother because he tried it, tasted it, was horrible, and then given it to me. And I usually, when it comes to terrible toothpastes, I get used to them pretty quickly, so I don't really mind that. But I had a friend sleep over. She had to borrow my toothpaste. She tried it and she was like, "Mariana, you have the most terrible, awful toothpaste. It tastes disgusting, and I was like, I know. But yeah, what else? Oh, well, it turns out I have my sweater on backwards, so that's a new development as well. In front of me I have coffee, fruit tea, and a black tea with milk. So yes, the coffee tastes like gingerbread. As for reading, I tried picking up Survivor's Song by Paul Tremblay, and I was like, oh, a survival book, let's try it. I think I might like this. I think I might be in the mood. But no, it's right up my alley, and yet I think I'm in a reading slump. I don't know, I just need to find that one book that makes me want to read all the time. Oh my goodness, we hit 200 subscribers! Yay, Lucifer's Library hit 200 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. That's awesome. So I realized that I have a lot of hard-hitting books on my TBR. There is a lot of death in my books, especially in contemporary or romance books that were supposed to be, you know, light, fun reads. And so what I'm actually doing is just deleting every book that, one, doesn't interest me, or two, is going to be a hard hitter, because I am still at a point where I cannot handle death. And I thought that I was ready with You've Reached Sam. But then I tried reading other books, and I cannot handle hard hitters. Ever since my grandpa died, and ever since my bird died, and ever since my dog died, it's like I just don't want to cry. I don't. Reading Mockingjay and The Hunger Games, it was depressing, but the reason why those books are different is, you know, that saying, the people with anxiety will always find it easier to rewatch series than watch new ones, right? And I think the same is with me and books. The Hunger Games wasn't too hard for me because I knew what to expect. I don't want to read hard hitters, so in 2022 I'm gonna read lighter books, and then if I decide not to, I can just pick up something that makes me sad, which I do have a lot, I think, on my bookshelves. If I want to cry, I'm just gonna pick up Crescent City or The Throne of Glass, last 3 books in the series. Okay, I'm done talking, I'm gonna go. So, you know how I've been thinking about what books I want to read? Basically, I have available 2 books that I'm currently interested in. One of them is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand, and that book is basically a retelling of the Christmas Carol with its own spin on it, and it's a Christmas book. Christmas came and went, it was not very festive for me personally, with everything going on. So I don't know, I guess I just want to pick this book up, but I also want to pick up Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. Those will be hopefully my next reads. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is where I leave you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Happy New Year! Mwah! Bye! Ow! Bye!